What is up, Bruins fans? Today I'm bringing you a clip from episode 361 of the Black and Gold Hockey Podcast, where hosts Sam Smith and Mark Allred, joined by special guest David Collins, discuss the recent news and rumors around Bruins goaltender Jeremy Swayman.
Now, let's move on to another big conversation amongst Bruins fans, probably the biggest conversation amongst Bruins fans all offseason. When the hell is Jeremy Swayman getting his contract? And I'm happy to tell you that nothing's changed. Swayman is still unsigned at this time. However, there's multiple different conflicting reports coming out right now about what he wants, what he was offered. A report came out a week or two ago from Rich Keefe that reportedly Swayman wants $10 million a season. Now, I personally don't believe that, but what do you guys think about that? Do you think he would actually want $10 million?
I think it's more of a game at this point. I think his agent may possibly be going in at 10, but expecting to get 8, 8.5, 9. I don't think they're realistically expecting 10, but chances are they're coming in higher than what they expect just to play the game with the Bruins. Now, you know, there are obviously conflicting reports out there that are saying that the Bruins are offering considerably less than what Swayman wants.
Right.
I don't know how much I buy into that either, but to all the Bruins fans, Jeremy Swayman will be a Bruin this year. I don't think there's any worries about that. I'm not stressed over it. When that happens, it could be the day before the season starts. It's hard to say, but Jeremy Swayman will be a Bruin for the 2024-2025 season, and I expect a very long time after that.
I mean, the thing is, right, I'll let you get to your point in a second, Mark. I just want to point out what David was talking about. Earlier today on the Spit and Chicklets podcast, Ryan Whitney reported that the last offer the Bruins gave him was 4 years at $6.2 a season, lowballing him in both directions, the years and the money, from what the reported 8x8 would be, which what I think he still will get. Who knows? At least $8 million. I'm not sure about 8 years anymore, but the report is 4 years, 6.2, according to Ryan Whitney of Spin and Chicklets. I don't know if I can believe that because I don't think Swayman would want 4 years. I think Sweeney isn't that much of a moron. I don't think would say, oh, well, 4 years, yeah, we'll give you like a 4 years, almost like a bridge deal for Swayman, and then to prove himself as a starter, no, you kind of have to go all in with this guy, speaking that you have Korpisalo, who is okay, not amazing as a starter, I don't think, and Bussy, who doesn't have any NHL experience at all. You got to go all in with this guy, no?
Well, I don't know if the 4x6.25 is accurate, but I am in the range of 7.5 to 8.5. It's what we have available in cap space right now. And it might offer a little bit of wiggle room too for a potential PTO, like you said, Sam. I don't think they're going to bring anybody else in because of the fact is that they don't have the goaltender signed yet. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be signed. I don't understand the fan freak out. Like everything has to be done yesterday or weeks ago for people to be happy. This is a negotiation process. This happens in other teams with other players. He's an RFA. Relax. I don't understand why people don't get the RFA UFA. Like, we're going to lose him. He wasn't signed on July 1st. No. Please do some reading, do some research, and learn hockey a little bit more than just turning your TV on and watching the game. But I also see one side that what has he done so far? And I get the fact is that, he's going to be our longtime, starting goaltender, but there's other sides of the negotiation which say, what have you done? And you still have something to prove. So that's where I believe that if the 625 times 4 years was offered, Maybe that's one of those, like, this is your time to prove it before another big contract. The one thing that also scares me about a lower contract than 8 years is you just bring Jeremy Swayman that much closer to unrestricted free agency, where he can just walk to any team. So if you don't sign him to an 8-year deal and the money that he wants, which I do not believe is $10 million, Rich Keefe might have his sources and so on, and I respect that, but I kind of am going to push back on this. I think this was a leak from the team. And I think a couple other people, in the know understand that as well, that this could be a negotiation tactic to let somebody know and something, filter it out there just to, start a panic. It's so bad.
I had a theory that this was leaked by somebody to turn the narrative, because people have been on Twitter crapping on Sweeney, giving him all the business. Why haven't you signed Swayman yet? This comes out, and then I saw a lot of fickle Bruins fans with, "Oh, Swayman wants $10 million. How dare he?" You can't make up your minds, people. Some of you guys are like, "Oh, well, Swayman wants $10 million. Oh, but why hasn't Sweeney signed him yet?" Make up your minds, people. Pick a side. Like, I don't know. I feel like whenever this gets done, if people are just going to calm down and they're just going to be like, okay, finally, and then all will be forgiven, apparently, just randomly. There was also a report that came out today in that Ryan Whitney Spit and Chicklets podcast that the Bruins haven't returned Swayman's agent's calls for weeks. I personally don't believe that, especially with how close training camp and the rookie camp and the season is. I don't believe that, especially with their starting goaltender. You're not going to trust Korpisalo or Bussy to be the starter next year. At least I don't think so. So I don't believe that one bit.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Dave.
Sorry. It just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't see what could have happened over the summer to sour that relationship so badly. And Shaz in the chat there did mention about the not returning the calls for 3 weeks. But yeah, it's just, I don't know who Ryan Whitney's sources are, Spit and Chicklets in general, but the dots just aren't adding up. The picture is not going where people think it's going. And yeah, I think once this does get done, there's going to be a collective sigh of relief. Like you said, it's hard to say what side the fans are on, but it is very possible that this got leaked from the team to be like, look, we're not the bad guy. We're willing to play ball. But Swayman right now is not being reasonable. So, turn your focus on him type of thing. But again, it's hard to say where it's all going.
Yeah, and the Sweeney hate continues to build up because of this. And there's a lot of people out there that think that it's just him, being a dink to Swayman and so on. It's a two-way street, people. It's basically the same thing when you're sitting down at a review at your job, negotiating for a higher wage. It's you and somebody else. It's not just always somebody, just one person. So you can't just blame the management on this. I don't know. The whole hasn't been called back in 3 weeks kind of thing. This is in August, if I'm not mistaken, the Bruins organization and a lot of NHL clubs are all on vacation during that time. The draft's over, free agency is well over. There's a big lull right here. So, this might just be a little vacation and then we'll get back to work as soon as possible. So another thing that I'm not freaking out about.
Yeah. I don't see it. The math is not adding up. You have Swayman's been in Boston most of the summer besides being at a wedding.
He never went to Alaska.
He never went home.
Never.
Unlike another guy who reportedly arrived in Boston today. We'll talk about him later. He never went home. He only traveled to go to a wedding in Croatia, I think, somewhere out in that area. He was out there with all of his former and current teammates and everything. We're going to talk about captain's practice in just a minute. He's been there the past 2 days. He was there today. He was there yesterday with the team just going on for a skate, maybe doing a little something. I'm not sure, but he's been there. He's been on the ice with the team, like he's a part of the team. So I don't know why you people are freaking out. There's no reason to freak out. He's an RFA. The Bruins have, I like to put it in layman's terms, first dibs. There's nothing to freak out about. Swayman's going to be back. There's no offer sheet coming. There's only 7 teams that could do that, and the Bruins would match it in a heartbeat. No, it's not going to happen.
And if there was an offer sheet, it would have happened already.
It would have happened already.
It's way too late in the off season. So I don't believe that also.
And the Oilers, people were like, "Oh, the Oilers and Blues did it." Yeah, well, the guy who isn't going to get $7, $8, $9 million, like with 2 guys actually, and Holloway and Broberg going to St. Louis. But yeah, so no reason to freak out. Swayman will sign, and if he doesn't, I am gonna be surprised. I'm gonna be surprised, big time.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah, he's been in the area. I mean, I literally walked right by him, actually. He was at a signing on the North Shore Mall a few weeks ago. I'm there with some friends. We walk right by each other, which was so funny. I said, "What's up, Sway?" He goes, "Hey, what's going on?" It happens.
Nice.
So he's been around. He seems happy. He's not going anywhere. And yes, that podcast clip, Ian, of him understanding the business side. He's going to UMaine for business. I don't know. I wouldn't read into that too much. That's just me. I don't know. Again, what do we know?
Like what you saw? Be sure to come back next week for episode 362 of the Black and Gold Hockey Podcast, where hosts Sam Smith and Mark Allred will discuss the upcoming 2024-2025 season. See you then.